Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and welcome to a video that I've actually wanted to make forever, and that more recently a lot of you have also been asking me to make based upon my feedback of pretty much every creator sim ever released for The Sims 4. We all know that masculine sims get the dud end of the stick when it comes to creator sim. They always have done. Hopefully this new cottage living has more masculine stuff in it. The gurus have said that they have tried to give a good amount of content to masculine sims, but I always get asked the question what would you personally like to see for masculine sims that you don't feel is currently in the game from you lot? Because I always say that it is definitely lacking and I wish that they would switch it up a little bit. So what I thought I would do is take to Pinterest, which I somehow have made the boomer mistake. It's like a boomer on Skype. I have two different accounts on Pinterest, so bear with. We're gonna try and go through a lot of the stuff. I'm basically just gonna scroll through my pins and just sort of talk about what I think they're doing incorrectly right now, what I think they're doing too much of, and then what they could do more of. And this video isn't going to be for everyone. I already know that. My fashion sense is not for everyone. I'm sure I could walk down the street and people would be like, what the fuck is she wearing? And I do feel like I dress my masculine sims the exact same way. So I know this isn't going to be to everyone's taste. I know I probably am going to get messages that are like, ooh, no, why the hell would I want to dress my sims this way? But I just want the team to think outside of the box. That's all it is. If you couldn't tell, I have a lot of feelings about this specific topic when it comes to creator sim. So when it comes to clothing, which we are gonna sort of start off with, I feel as if first of all, we have far too many long sleeve shirts, and it's not even long sleeve shirts that are a little bit different. It's checked shirts, it's long sleeve shirts with their sleeves turned up. It's not even different colors of shirts. I really like shirts on guys, and I do think they can be very smart looking. I dress my male sims quite formally a lot of the time because I love that sort of style. I definitely prefer a more formal style over a sort of more casual street look, even though I would prefer some more street things, which I will get into. But we have so many just of the same shirt. We don't play around with shirts being tucked in. We don't really play around with lengths of shirts. This is gorgeous. And also the shirts aren't baggy enough for me. I will say paranormal stuff, that floaty shirt that we got, one of the best pieces of content we've had for a long time in The Sims 4. I absolutely loved it. But I'd love to see more bold patterns, especially. I think bold patterns are very much missing. And then I also feel we have a lot of knitted jumpers. There are still some jumpers that I would like. I would like more of an athletic look with turtlenecks underneath them, for example. I definitely think we need more layering when it comes to masculine clothes. Short sleeves as well. I feel short sleeve shirts we don't have a lot of, and I absolutely love these. Dad shirts and things like that are also tucked into skinny jeans. I don't know if they can do tucked in stuff. I know that so many custom content creators do tucked in shirts. I don't know if that's because I guess when you're selling a pack, if you do the tuck, then I guess you can only wear it with specific trousers depending on where the trousers sit on the waist. So maybe that's why the team do actually avoid it or put them in full body outfits. But I wouldn't even mind more full body outfits. Gents barely get any full body outfits in any pack that we get, which is really, really disappointing. But yeah, playing around with cuts, playing around with length, I definitely think is a big one. More bold patterns and baggier clothes. Honestly, like there are some specific jumpers that I would like to see that I definitely don't think we have, and they're definitely more of like this athletic wear or like sweater vests or like this sort of one with like the collars underneath, baggier, just that suit Sims more than what we currently have. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we have is very like middle age for the masculine Sims, and we don't have a lot of like younger content. Also, what I definitely think we need to do for masculine clothing is kind of strip it back to the basics, because if you go to like t-shirts, there's not that many t-shirts, especially just like plain or like striped t-shirts. There really isn't as many as you would expect. And like a lot of the base game ones are very tight to the skin and like grip onto the skin, which again is why I definitely think we need to start playing around with bagginess a bit more. I would love to see longer length t-shirts as well. I think they're so in fashion right now. Also t-shirts like this with like higher collars, longer sleeves. This is what I mean by like playing around with cuts a bit more. Longer sleeves so that your Sims can kind of wear them over their hands. We've seen that recently in some of the feminine Sims, so I'd really like to see it for the masculine Sims as well. Giving us like corduroy, like thicker jeans. I feel like we have a lot of skinny ankle grazers in The Sims 4, so I would like to see baggier jeans, play around with materials, add some corduroy in there for sure. Better necklaces as well for the masculine Sims. I feel like they barely have any necklaces whatsoever, where like so many dudes nowadays like wear so much jewelry, which I would really like to see. Chunkier rings as well. Moving on to hairstyles, the first thing I'm gonna say here is we do not need any more short back and sides and a quiff. We get one in every pack almost. I'm so sick of it. If you go through like the short or medium hairstyles and count how many like short sides and back, but then like a big quiff we have, there's so many, and they're all pretty much like a copy and paste with like changing the height difference, sort of changing the direction the quiff goes in, and there's so many more hairstyles that I feel like we could get. I definitely feel like we need to start playing around with length a little bit more when it comes to masculine tagged. I'm saying all of this in like these because I feel like they could really be used for any gender in the game. I think we need more like curtains because they're a trend right now. I never thought I would see the day when curtains came back into trend, but this hairstyle is very much on trend right now, and the only like actual content that I have like these hairstyles in my game is from custom content. From the Sims team, we basically get short back and sides and a quiff. We're getting one in the new pack. Don't get me wrong, we are getting twists in the new pack, which I really, from what I saw in the trailer, like that hairstyle, but I had to zoom in on it and it was a little bit blurry, but I do like the choice. However, having said that, I definitely think we need better diversity when it comes to afro textured hair in the game as well, especially for masculine Sims. Like, I feel like we have a lot of like short afros, however, we don't really play around with it too much, and I definitely think they could go out a little bit further. Like, we could have bigger afro twists that are also like longer. This hairstyle is gorgeous, but we just don't have it in the game whatsoever. I'd also love to have some like messy man buns. I'm not saying that not everything has to have a short back and sides. Like, this hairstyle is so cool with like the shaved like kind of half the head and then like a little bun on the top. I love this hairstyle, and I think we just need to get a little bit more experimental when it comes to masculine tagged hairstyles. Also, we all know that the shags have been in recently. I feel like every sort of pack that we've had recently, we've had like a shag or a mullet style. I really love the hair that we got in Eco Lifestyle, you know, the one with like the short back and sides, but then it had like, it was short on top but had like a fringe. I feel like we need a variant of that looks like these hairstyles that I've saved. We're getting an English pack, and I know it's in the countryside, and I know like a lot of people probably wouldn't rock this hairstyle. Actually, they probably would, but this is so huge in the UK right now, and I haven't seen it in the pack. I'm fairly sure that Aiden, aka Devin Bumpkin, who worked on this pack and built some of the houses for this new pack, has this hairstyle. He may have changed it recently during lockdown, I'm not too sure, but he's definitely had this hairstyle in the pack and we don't have it in the game, and I'd really like to see it. That's not to say that I want to get rid of the mullets and shags completely. I definitely think we just need like a pause on them. However, there's so much more stuff that they could do, like this one that has like the short sideburns and probably an undercut, which we can definitely start playing around with undercuts a little bit more. But like this sort of doesn't look like a mullet, but it's more of like a modern day fashion one. Also, curly mullets and shags are in right now. Like there's so many cool different hairstyles that I see like all over TikTok, all over Pinterest. And finally, this is something that I didn't think I'd be talking about in this video, but facial hair. I genuinely cannot remember the last time I actually touched an EA facial hair. The only facial hair that I use from EA is absolutely the curly mustache from Cats and Dogs. I absolutely love it. Every other single facial hair I have in my game is custom content. And that's because, I'm sorry, but custom content creators just do it better. And this video is not meant to be a sort of like, Sims team just copy these custom content creators. That's not what I'm trying to go for. But I mean, it just goes to show how good custom content creators are at diversifying and varying what we actually have in the game, when I haven't personally used an EA facial hair in probably what is like 3 or 4 years. I think what custom content creators do really, really well is they mix and match the lengths of facial hair. And I feel like the team have never ever done this. Like if you go and look at the Sims 4 facial hairs, a lot of them are just like one length all the way. Whereas so many people have like stubble and then like a longer chin or a longer mustache, and like they just don't do that very well in the actual like official game stuff. We also need like fairer facial hair as well. I know we got a couple in Parenthood, but that's kind of just like baby fuzz, I would want to call it. I don't know if that's offensive, but that's how I would feel about it. Like, you kind of shave, but you're not really, like, growing full hair right now. So I definitely would like to see a stronger hair, but then also, like, it not all matching up and creating, like, full beards. However, having said that, we absolutely need more full beards and longer beards. Again, afro texture on the facial hair. That is missing from the game. Like, we just don't have it. And I definitely think in 2021, we should have it. We should have more variety in the texture of facial hair. And right now we don't. So I would like to see that, like more curly hair types that are definitely represented in beards and facial hair. Look at this man's facial hair. Look at him go. Look at his confidence. That is a great beard, sir. Let me just tell you. Good on you for growing that. Yeah, so handsome. What the heck? Also, can we get do-rags in the game, please? Look at this. Oh my goodness, that beard is wonderful. I kind of really wish we had that in Cats and Dogs. Basically, the summary of this video is, Sims team, please don't be afraid to, like, play around with things. Like, I know not everyone's gonna use it. I know a lot of this stuff probably wouldn't reflect to a wider audience, but like we have the basics when it comes to hairstyles, and I just don't want a copy and paste of every single facial hair. Mind you, we barely get facial hair. Like when we get facial hair in a new pack, it genuinely surprises me because it barely ever happens. And there we have it. I know this was such a messy video. It was a little strange. It was a little bit different. Honestly, I rarely use Pinterest unless I'm using it for like my bullet journal and stuff like that. But I do find it is so incredibly helpful to, one, find custom content. When I searched facial hair, funnily enough, so many like masculine custom content came up from The Sims 4. Like, even when you search men facial hair, like, so much CC comes up, which just goes to show there's a need for it. It's absolutely needed. Sims team, please start doing justice once again to the masculine tagged stuff. I say it all the time. I know there was some like athletic looking stuff in here and also some cozy looking stuff in here, but that's not the only fashion that we need in the game. I'd love to see more formal stuff. The packs that I do think did it really, really well for masculine clothing. I really liked Snowy Escape, even though there wasn't as much, but there's never enough for masculine Sims in comparison to feminine. Discover University, and also, what was the last one that I was gonna say? University just sort of set the bar for me personally when it came to a masculine creator sim. I absolutely loved it. I feel like there was a good range between like athletic, cozy, and then also like smarter casual wear, which I definitely feel like blends the modern fashions of today. But let me know what you all thought of this video. Also, cargo trousers. We need more cargo pants. I feel like we rarely get cargo trousers. Trousers can go one of two ways in The Sims 4. They're either super tight or like straight leg and ankle grazers, or they're like super, super baggy. And I feel like we need to sort of find a mid-range between those two things. But let me know what you thought of this video. Do you agree with my wants and my wish list for masculine Sims for switching things up? Do you disagree? Do you absolutely hate what I picked out? Like I said, my fashion is definitely not for everyone, but I just feel like we need more variety in the game, and I feel like this is definitely variety. It's spicing up Creator Sim. City Living, Discover University, Snowy Escape. They were my top 3 for masculine Creator Sim because they sort of stepped out the comfort zone just a tiny bit, and I appreciate that. But thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all so much for asking for this video. I would love to hear what you would like to see for masculine Sims. Leave your comments down below. You can get as in-depth as you want to. Let me know what you agree with, disagree with, what you would like to see personally. I would super duper appreciate it. And I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.